In this video, I show you the Dungeons and Lasers third Kickstarter. Before we get into today's video, just want to talk about the GGGG for this month. Every month, Bob the Beholder picks some of my Patreon supporters to receive a gratitude gift because my Patreon supporters are so awesome. And for this month of May of 2021, I have so many that I can't even list them all. So go ahead and check out my Patreon page, but some of them are a lot of these Dungeons and Lasers sets that they sent me. So just click in the descriptions below where I have a link to my Patreon page where you can see the list of all the cool GGGGs. So Archon Studios did send me a bunch of their previous sets as well as their newer set, which is the Woodhaven Kickstarter, which is happening right now. And even though the time of this filming is May 6th, by the time I post this video about a week later, there will only be about 5 or 6 days left of the Kickstarter. But I wanted to show you what the set looked like painted. Now, the Dwarven set that I have painted up here on top was from the previous Kickstarter, but I didn't have the set before and just wanted to check out the paint scheme. Also, if you haven't seen my review video of their second Kickstarter, go ahead and click here because I go through a lot more in detail about the benefits of using Dungeons and Lasers sets, because as is still true that I mentioned from that video, this is still one of the most economical ways to build out a dungeon. And now that with the third Kickstarter, they have towns, they have buildings now as options, they have roofs. This is becoming more and more versatile as a set, and it's still one of the better deals out there for commercially available dungeons. Also, I didn't do a painting tutorial this time, but if you do check that video, I do have a painting tutorial there, not only of the base set, but also of Durkar, the dragon, and the animal companion pack. So make sure to check that out. Also, one of the things that I really like about Archon as a company is that they are super responsive. And so in my last video, I did say that I wished that they provided more of these edge clips so that it looks just aesthetically better without these clips sticking out. And sure enough, they created a whole sheet of just edge clips. So good on you, Archon. You are super responsive to the needs of us as consumers, and so thank you for that. One of the other additions with this iteration is that they do include these clips that enable you to set more levels stably on top of one another. And so these clips just provide some of the stability, even though you were able to stack previously with the other version of the clips. This just makes it a lot more stable and it won't move around that much. So that's what's really helpful with these clips, and I think it's a very simple solution to making multi-tiered dungeons and now buildings, which is amazing. And then now with the clear colored plastic of the sewer set, which I think looks amazing, they are really branching out in the variety that they're going to have. And I do know that you have the option of having different tints to this to the water that's here in this sewer set. So I think that's amazing. I think they're coming out with a lot of ingenious new ideas, and I think now, if you haven't before, now is a really good time to jump in because there is so much versatility, and I know that Archon is going to continue to support this line by coming out with more and more options. So what I'm going to do now is just show you the really quick unboxing video, because that's going to show all of the GGGGs for this month, as well as after that we're going to jump on over to the computer and just walk through what is going to be available with this Kickstarter, and hopefully that'll be helpful for you as you're considering whether or not you're going to get this. All right, let's see why this box is so big. So every Kickstarter Archon Studios sends me more and more stuff. So let's see here. Here's a box of the sci-fi core set. This definitely will be one of the GGGGs. This is the town sewer set. So this is actually from the Woodhaven Kickstarter. So this is the one I'll be busting open and will be painting up. This is the stretch goals from Dungeons and Lasers 2. Looks like they have 3 boxes of stretch goals. Yeah, they couldn't fit it all in one box. So you are getting a ton of different stretch goals here. And then this is the core fantasy set. Another GGGG here. This is the Dwarven Mine Rune, and this is the Hall of Heroes. So this will also be one of the GGGGs. Maybe I'll pair this with the core set, since really there's no use in having just one of these rooms. And then we have another Durkar. So this will also be a GGGG, as well as the Animal Companions pack. So Bob is going to pick one Patreon supporter to receive the Animal pack, another to receive Durkar, another to receive both the Hall of Heroes and with the Fantasy Core set. And then someone else will receive the Sci-Fi Core set. So those are the 4 that will be part of the GGGG for this month. So the final version will have more durable clear plastic elements, feature clips without built-in pins, and has much smoother clips than now. Fixed in new tooling, it was purely a human error. And this sheet is pretty cool. It shows you all the different levels that you can create now. So here's the Kickstarter page, and like I mentioned before, I am filming just only 2 days after this went live, but by the time you see this video there will only be about 5 or 6 days left. So if you want this, you might want to jump in on it relatively quickly. But there is a ton of information on this Kickstarter page, and here's a list of all the current stretch goals, but I'm sure that a lot of these are going to be unlocked because there's already been over $600,000 that have been raised. And here you're going to just see a lot of the different files, and here's just a little picture. I wish it was a little bit bigger, of the sewer set. That is one of the newer ones. But let's go ahead and check it out. And you can look at my previous video as well just to see how things clip together. But it just clips in really nicely, super easy. It isn't hard to remove or put together, and these clips are strong enough as well. And like I mentioned, and a lot of other reviewers mentioned, it is really creating a dungeon on the cheap. So the new sets that are available with this is the Sewers core set, which is what you saw. And as mentioned, there are various colors that are going to be available through the Pledge Manager. And so you can pick different colors if you want. The ones that they send us are the blue color, or I think it's actually this aqua color, not blue. So that's cool. And then there is also a castle set, which looks cool when you stack these or create a tower. The wooden cottage, which I'm a little bit disappointed. I wish they would have sent me a prototype of this one because I wanted to see what the buildings potentially look like. But at least these renders look really good. Tudor Mansion, just a different version of buildings that you can create. And again, stone towers. And here are some of the configurations. And this is where really having the revised clip system, which makes building vertically a little bit easier, is really helpful because it's just going to be a lot more sturdy as you stack these up. You're also going to be able to receive these city streets. And I think probably one of the biggest innovations is the roof set. So if you're going to be creating buildings, then definitely want to grab the roof set, and this just gives you a lot more versatility with what you're going to be able to create. And I really like how they have these awnings available as well, just to break it up and create different styles of roofs. This is a core set that has been available since the very first Kickstarter. And again, if you want to see a painted version of this, check out my previous video. And then I think this was also available in the past as well. So possibly these ones. And yes, the Dwarven Mine that I showed you, that was made available in the second Kickstarter. And as I painted it up, I think it looks really sharp, a lot of details. You can pick different color schemes. So Dwarven Mine, really good. The other thing about the Dwarven Mine that I mentioned before, which is really good, is that they have half height walls, which again, I told you that I prefer because it's easier to just see into the dungeon. Now, the only downside with half height walls is that you aren't able to stack and create multiple levels. But in terms of actual being able to see into the dungeon, I like these half height ones. Yes, these are all add-ons for various rooms that you can get. I also showed you this in my previous video, the Warlock Altar. I might actually be jumping in on just grabbing these townsfolk. And you know, they do have the dragon models as well as the pet companions, but this is sort of the first time that they are creating a pretty large number of NPC characters. And I'm always looking for good NPC characters, and so I might actually just jump in on just the miniatures, which is about $35 US here, especially as they unlock more and more miniatures. And what I like about this set, this is almost 50 miniatures, but what I like about it is that you're receiving multiples of these soldiers, which is always handy for D&D or other RPGs, because I always want just generic soldiers that are in the town. So you're getting multiples of these. So even if I wanted to buy 2 sets, you know, I could have 4 of each one of these sculpts, which would be enough to fill out an entire town. But there's actually plenty of different sculpts. So for example, the ranged characters with crossbows and arrows, you see all of these different sculpts. So there's 6 different sculpts here, and you're getting 12 of them total, which is great. Another new thing here is that there is a 5th edition campaign. So if you're a D&D player, this might be a fun way to incorporate all of this material that you're getting into a campaign. This is all of their dragons, and again, a quick painting tutorial for my Durkar in the previous video. These are great to paint up. They look awesome. And then this is the various pledge levels. So the base pledge here is giving you the core set and then a couple of additional rooms. And as you can see here, it quickly fills up your gaming table. So an awesome deal there. And this is about $100 US. And you can also choose the core set for the sewers too. It's actually worth it to jump up to the next level because look at how much terrain you're receiving. For about double the amount, for $200, you are getting massive amounts of terrain. So if you can afford it, I would suggest this over the base pledge because that is just a ton of terrain. You're getting 2 core sets of your choice and then 7 rooms, which is awesome. And you can exchange one of your rooms to be able to receive the Townsfolk Starter, which is probably what I would do if I were getting this pledge level. And then if you just want to go ham, just add another $100 and just get, I don't know if this would actually fit my table, but this is massive. So at $300 though, again, you cannot get this much terrain for $300. So this is, again, one of the most economical deals that you can to get dungeons. Here is the all-in, and this is $600. What you're receiving is everything, including their previous stretch goals, which you can buy separately. But if you want everything, this is the $600 level here. One of the things about Dungeons and Lasers Kickstarters is they have tons and tons of add-ons. So you're getting massive amounts of furniture items to populate your dungeons, which I think is awesome. And so these little bits that can supplement your builds, I think are perfect. So just keep an eye out. Again, I think they're going to raise a lot more money. So usually their stretch goal boxes, like for example from the second Kickstarter, there's 3 boxes to fit all of the stretch goals, both for fantasy as well as sci-fi. And then here you can supplement with additional items if you want more edge clips, things like that. So basically you just have a lot of different options available to you. Note here, rapid delivery is because they've already produced the product, they're going to be able to ship it in the first wave. And that's pretty much it. So there you go. Please like and subscribe if this video was helpful for you. Check out all of my other videos where I do talk about terrain and various games. And again, check out my Patreon page to get in on the gratitude gifts. Happy hobbying, happy gaming. We'll see you next time.